Hello everyone, welcome to another video. I'm Randy and this is a contest entry, and this is a contest for one of the great guys in the VC, and that's Chris Propfe and his channel Chris Propfe Musically Obsessed. And if you don't know Chris, which you probably do, I mean if you're subscribed to me you're probably subscribed to Chris, but he's got a wide collection, a wide taste in music. He's a big fan of the SST label, and so he's one of the few people I think can talk about Black Flag and then talk about Rod McEwen and Herb Alpert later. But anyway, he just decided he wanted to do a contest for no specific reason, but to celebrate the vinyl community. And so I thought I would hop on with his contest. The first prompt he had was to show an album from 1974, which is his birth year. And the album that I chose was the Fleetwood Mac album, Heroes Are Hard to Find, which I just found this, last year I think. I've been looking for it for quite a while, but I finally found one at a record store. I guess I could have gone online or eBay and found one, but I had the 8-track back in the day, and I really like this album. I think it's one of Bob Welch's best ones, I think, when he was in Fleetwood Mac. And he's always kind of had this taste for, the odd or the unexplained and that kind of thing, a little atmospheric at times, but especially on this one. He had the song Hypnotize, which is probably his most well-known one, but on this one he does Bermuda Triangle, which I think is a great song. I'm talking about the Bermuda Triangle. Heroes Are Hard to Find is a great song. Christy McVie does some great ones on here too. Come a Little Bit Closer. And anyway, it's just a great Fleetwood Mac album in the Bob Welch years, 1974. Next he wanted us to show an album from 1988, which was when Chris would have been 14 and really started getting into music. And so the one I chose is this album by Larry Davis, the great bluesman. He's actually born in Kansas City, so I could have used this in my contest. But he really grew up in Arkansas and made a name for himself kind of in St. Louis area. He met Fenton Robinson, the guitarist, and they kind of took him under his wing. And he got introduced to Bobby Bland, who Bobby Bland saw him and recommended him to Don Roby, who headed Duke Peacock Records. And that's how he kind of got his start. And Larry Davis is best known for writing the song Texas Flood, which later became a staple for Stevie Ray Vaughan. Can think of it for a second. But, so yeah, he was the Texas Flood writer, except on his single from 1955 of Texas Flood, it's actually Fenton Robinson that's playing the guitar on that, not Larry Davis. Although Larry Davis started out as a drummer, but later on he became a very fine guitarist. Like I said, Fenton Robinson took him under his wing. But this is a great album called I Ain't Begging Nobody. It's on the Pulsar label, which I think is out of the St. Louis area. But it's a wonderful album from 1988, Larry Davis. Next, Chris wanted us to show 3 albums that are important to us. And I know I've shown a lot of times, Van Morrison's my favorite artist and The Who are my favorite group. But I thought I'd go a little bit different this time and show some albums that are important in different ways that maybe I haven't shown. Well, the first one I've shown, but since this is for Chris, I thought I would show it again. And that is, the first album I ever bought was actually a Herb Alpert album, is this one here. What Now My Love, although this is not the original album as I had sold it, but I did find this later on, and I've got it again. Of course, Herb Alpert on A&M Records, as he is the A of the A&M label, Alpert. But and this is a really fine album. I really like Magic Trumpet's probably the song that most people know off this one, but I like Herb Alpert. And Chris is a big fan too, so I thought I would show this. This is actually the first album I ever bought not this exact one, but this is a fine replica of that one. The next important album I'm going to show is one that kind of introduced me to jazz, and this was a jazz vocal, but probably the first considered jazz album I ever got was this Best of Mose Allison, which is a wonderful album. He had quite the sense of humor, a little fatalistic in some of it. Your Mind is on Vacation is a wonderful one, and then I Don't Worry About a Thing, because nothing's going to turn out right. Stop the World, Everybody Crying Mercy, but no one knows the meaning of the word. But Your Molecular Structures, he's just a great artist for my introduction into jazz. This, like I said, this is the first what we consider jazz album I got, and not too long after that I went and got a Chet Baker album, so it was very influential for me. But Mose Allison was Best Of. The last one I'm going to show is not actually a vinyl record, because I'm not sure this artist has anything released on vinyl, but I remember reading an article in the Kansas City Star calling this artist the best Dylan interpretator, and I'm a big Dylan fan. And so it was this guy named Jimmy LaFave, who I think passed away last year or the year before that, I think. But this was an album called Trail, which included some live performances and some unreleased stuff, and then radio transcriptions from radio shows he did. But and the liner notes were written by Dave Marsh from Rolling Stone. I think that's where the quote came from about being the best Dylan interpreter. Maybe I should say it that way. But on every one of his albums, he has at least one or two Dylan songs on there. But he's a fine writer in his own right. I really like him as a guitarist. I would recommend anybody checking out Jimmy LaFave. And actually, his version of, if I can find it on here, I don't think it's on here. Oh, I threw it all away. I probably like his version more than the Dylan version, and I'm a big Dylan fan. But Jimmy LaFave, Trail, or look up any of his songs. There's quite a few videos on YouTube of Jimmy LaFave playing, and I would recommend everyone checking him out. And the last prompt was to show what we used for inner and outer sleeves. For inner sleeves, I started out with these from Sleeve City, Disc Keeper, which I think they're pretty good sleeve, but especially in the wintertime, I have a little bit of a static problem at my house, and I thought these retained more static than the MoFi ones, so I kind of went lately to the MoFi sleeves, but I don't think this is a bad one from Sleeve City. But yeah, this is what I'm using now, is the MoFi ones. And then show the outer sleeves. Well, I really like the outer sleeves that Sleeve City sell, but later on this year, they were out of them. And I haven't gone back to see if they are in stock now or not. But I got these other ones offline, but they were a little bit more milky than I liked. I liked seeing the album more. So there's a guy, well, the owner of FM Music, which is a local record store in North Kansas City, Missouri, that I go to. I liked the sleeves he was putting on his albums. And so I still have some of these milky ones left, so I haven't opened this yet. But these are a little thinner, I think, but they're clearer and really makes your album stand out. So I'm not sure how well I'm going to like them, what their durability is, but I do like the look of these, and they're called Checkout Store brand. So anyway, those are my sleeves, and everyone subscribe to Chris. And hope everyone's doing well, and have a good day.